This is my reaction for Lowkey Wake Up. Let's go.
Of the abolition of slavery. These are my views. Hear my words. Listen, listen. I woke up this morning, so I had to make a new track. This is the difference between true stories and true facts. This right here is what waking up feels like. This is the difference between real talk and real life. It's a treacherous road, so mind the gap. Cause they're trying to blur the lines between lies and facts. They told you it was finished, but that's all a lie. Cause there's children in them sweatshops, some as young as 4 or 5. Check the tongue on your trainers. These slave-made products are brought in to get endorsed by somebody famous, so we think it looks cool. While slaves are stitching footballs in Pakistan, I break it down in a way that other rappers can't. It's hard to stop sleeping and wake up, cause it's too real. But if karma doesn't get you first, then the truth will. We're living in some wild days. According to UNICEF, there's 246 million child slaves. So open your eyes and listen to this, cause
Yeah, exactly here. Open your eyes and really see about like the slavery today. And they say slavery was abolished. And here is totally true. That is totally wrong. For they are not abolished. They are still slavery today. Like in many countries, like with in sweatshops, other like blood diamonds, and many other things like so yeah, this is really there's been so many slavery like in the world, like in different way of slavery, like in some countries they even like they some people families cannot pay their landlord, and the landlord say you cannot leave this farm to you have paid the money you have, or you have to pay me, because and they give a so high amount that is impossible for these people to pay up. That is like maybe $100,000 or 2 billions, like really high up money you can never pay. If you are poor, it's impossible. So they use this amount of money just because you can never leave them, and that way they are slaves, for they can never pay that the landlord trick them to think they have to pay. Yeah, let's continue.
Innocent kids are stitching them kicks. I'm ticked off, cause we live in this myth. The devil's biggest of tricks was convincing the people he didn't exist. So you think it ended, but it never did. It put the chocolate in our mouth.
And here also the same thing. You think it was ending, but never end. He said they put a chocolate in the mouth. Like yeah, so many chocolate that people buy were also from slavery, like kid slavery, like the chocolate Kinder eggs. They're also from slavery. Like so many things there are many things that people eat, and chocolate are also from slavery workshops, like in so many clothes. Like, I don't know how many shoes that you like, sports shoes, like shoes and other things, like street clothes, many other clothes and so time things are many of them are work of child slavery, because when a company buy the clothes, it's much more easy to mass produce many clothes, like clothing from other poor third world countries, because if you have cheap laborers to work for you, you get all the money and you don't need to give any money away. And that is the term of modern slavery is that you have something, so they are forced to be there. If that you maybe have something about their family, or they have like you have like a blackmailing system to make them work for you without any money. They don't get any money, and they work like horrible condition, like roof falling down on them, like really bad buildings, or really no protection at all against fire or earthquakes, and any of this kind of thing. So always like this. Always remember when you buy chocolate. Like always remember this is when you eat something like sweet. Remember, if you really want to help people, you really should look around where the chocolate is coming from, or where do you buy like a coffee, or you buy Coca-Cola. Remember where they come from. Always remember that sometimes people maybe have died or live in horrible condition for you to drink or eat that thing. So that is a very important thing to remember. Yeah, let's continue.
Logo on our precious kicks, the clothes on our backs. Coffee we drink, almost everything. There's more slaves on earth right now than there's ever been. You're listening to the wrong rappers. Companies use child slaves, then blame it all on their subcontractors. Don't need to guess who sold those jeans, but who's buying these clothes? Who gives us cocoa beans from the Ivory Coast? The answer's on Mars, but you don't need to search. The sky's there in Haitian sweatshops making Mickey Mouse merchandise now.
And here also say, there's a Haitian shop, some make Disney's clothing, like Disney's thing, and there's also many things like I remember like Disney toys always made in China, or sometimes I also remember that they sometimes also slavery. There's some work like even in people in Tibet are forced to make some of these toys, like Disney toys, and they, of course, they changed the name for them. I don't know where I heard it before, but I heard it sometime at they forced the Tibetan people to make toys, and of course they changed the name to make Made in China, because if you say Made in Tibet, it's gonna be an outrage, because many people know how, I don't know how many people, a big percent of people know how horrible condition the Tibetan people live under the Chinese occupation, and so this kind of thing. And we always have to remember, I don't care now, I really don't care like this, I really don't care. Like China are not, the Tibetan people are not Chinese, and the Tibet is their own country, and no matter how much you justify, say, China was never with Tibet. Like they fight against the Tibet, like in the Tang Dynasty, but they never own Tibet. That is just a stupid thing, and they really need to go right now. And the only reason why the Chinese government can do this kind of thing is because they work with American with economy, like they get money for them, they buy things from them. The only reason why the Chinese like you show a part what's happened in Syria, but you never show what's happened in Tibet on the news, like news channels. And this is the reason why, because the Americans work with them, and Americans don't want to show their client at the bad light. Exactly the same with UK when they work with the Saudi families. They're never gonna show in the mainstream news the bad side of Saudi families. Of course, you never want to show your client or your at a bad light, and that is it's exactly the same with that. When he say with the Disney's, so many of them people who make Disney clothing, Disney toy, Disney drinking cups are forced to do that for you. Yeah, if I say before, cheap labor, make many things, and you get lots of money for that, and you are rich. You never lose money. You only get money, and that is it's a horrible thing. That greed is a horrible thing. People are like greedy and this kind of thing. Yeah. So let's continue.
It's less to do with the color of your skin, fam. It's more to do with the country that you're in.
And here, it also a very, very good thing he say. It's extremely good. It's not matter what color of your skin. It's more about what country you are in, and that is no matter if you white, black, and this kind of thing. It's mattering what country you are in. If you are in a poor country, it's a very big risk. You are forced to work in a sweatshop, or you have to work making clothes. Or you have to work as a slavery, and this kind of thing. And and even in a country like people are like from like this. When one example is sex trafficking is one. It also one thing is like in many countries that allowed to sell sex and buy sex the horrible reality in this is like this. Many of them, I don't know how big percent, I don't want to say any much percent, but it's a big percent of all the women in this kind of in this part of places are forced to do that. They take them from a poor country, they bring them to a place, they write down some paper, and when the paper is written down, they are illegal. They make them a way that they are allowed, but in reality they are forced of their owner in the other country. If they say something, the family gonna be killed, or they gonna lose everything and this kind of thing. So everything of this is oppression and slavery, and no matter how much you want to justify these kind of things against to have sex, is always when you pay something with money is always wrong. And this is a big problem there. So that is a really problem, and it's nothing about to be against or not against. It's just humanity. If you are still that the system make that, like the system make the way, like the system always gonna change. The system can always, if the system think we benefit if we get money from it, we make it that is okay, but it's still not okay. That is it's really hard. That I really want to say is like this. Many of the women or children or other thing that they are slaves because they are forced to do something they don't really want, but they are too afraid to say otherwise because some maybe gonna kill them or this kind of thing. So it's a really hard thing. It's a big problem, and that is always some people always gonna just try to justify it, but this always gonna the truth is that is always is wrong, and that is the bloody truth. And let's continue.
Fam won't stop spitting until there's a change. Every purchase that we make keeps these children in chains. It's so twisted and strange to me. Some parents are so poor, they sell their own kids into slavery. It's an ugly state of affairs. Slaves used to pick cotton, but now they stitch ticks on the trainers we wear. When they tell you it's finished, don't let them, cause it's still here, even though it got abolished in 1807. Open your eyes and listen to this, cause little innocent kids are stitching them kicks. I'm ticked off, cause we live in this myth. The devil's biggest of tricks was convincing the people he didn't exist. So you think it ended, but it never did. It put the chocolate in our mouth, the logo on our freshest kicks, the clothes on our backs, coffee we drink, almost everything. There's more slaves on earth right now than there's ever been. This is for those that kept faith, and all the children around the globe getting sold as sex slaves. Back in the day it was bad, but this is the next phase. Nowadays everything's in our hands, fam. Let's change. In these tragic times we gotta analyze these rappers' rhymes. The fact is they're blind and they glamorize a pack of lies. The powers that be got us distracted, but we have to fight, cause these days it's not just as simple as being black or white. We need to fix our lives and get some unity, cause till the feds get their weapons and shoot, executing me, putting me back to sleep is something you could never do to me. Yours truly, low key, the rapper slash revolutionary. Do your research if you don't believe it still exists. It's just a matter of how long can we live with it. You can call me a hypocrite, cause if you looked at the shoe on my foot right now, you'd see a little tick on it.
Yeah, that was my reaction for lowkey song Wake Up. Yeah, thanks.